Holy, what a game. The game just finished 2 minutes ago. Fletcher Hunt gets the chockies with that bat back to Kalen Ponga. Been talking about it for a few weeks. I thought Fletcher Hunt was actually a good NRL player, just not a great fantasy player. And yeah, he's delivered late for the Knights, getting booed at halftime, then come out with the chockies. So yeah, well done to Knights fans. I did tip them as well, so that was good. Let's see where I'm ranked now after that one. Hopefully it's come through. Because yeah, I'm going pretty decent in tipping this year. Yeah, just a great game. The more fantasy assets you had in that one, the better. Just pretty much every fantasy relevant guy scored really well. Garrick, not the best with a 44, but yeah, the other two did well, and there's a few guys who even beat that as well. Let's see if this is updated yet. Yeah, up the Knights. Let's go. So yeah, we'll get into that game. I'll talk about my trades first, just quickly. I did put out a post tonight saying they had pretty much stayed the same. Yeah, I'm pretty much locked into them now. I don't consider anything changing. Haas is locked into my team long term. I don't have any plans to trade him next week. Yeah, I don't know. That might change if he scores like a 50 or something, but that's not super realistic. I just don't need his money. So I've got 3 expendable guys next week in Tamale, Smith, and Savala. I have enough funds left where I can go someone like a Tamale up to a gun, like a Kiraz. Sorry, Smith up to like a Kiraz or Tedesco if I want to, potentially. The money should work there. It's just going to depend. Lawson plays in the first game, like the Dragons have the first game in round 15, which is really helpful because I can see what he scores. I've got 13 players with potentially 14 if Bo Fermor does miss Origin, but if not, Lawson just comes into that centre spot and I've got a full 13 without any trades, but I still plan on making some next week because I like having loop options in those minor buy rounds. I did kind of fuck up though. I'm locked into Jaden Campbell now. I was probably going to get him regardless, but I do like having the flexibility where I can change my mind mid-round. I should have played Sharpe at half instead of winger fullback. I reversed my trades just this afternoon just to fuck around with it a little bit. And yeah, didn't really consider that as an option. So yeah, I have to get a half now because I don't have any on the bench, only Savala who's not playing. So if I don't get Campbell, I have to get another half and there's no one else I really want. So yeah, kind of messed up. Worst case, if Campbell's injured or something, I'll get someone like a Jerome Hughes. So it's not the worst, but it's not the best either. So just a silly mistake. It shows how many little intricacies there are. We'll go over this real quick just to see how teams are going. And yeah, like 3 players used, 180 average. What did I get? 181, so yeah, not bad. But yeah, the more players you played, the better. If you played 6 guys, you're averaging 361, which is just absurd. We can kind of see how many trades people are using. Terrell May is obviously the most captain guy, but Cleary at 22.5% is pretty high, which is crazy. Jaden Campbell, the most traded in with Couchman. I'm surprised Campbell's higher than Couchman. I thought Couchman was the pretty clear-cut best option. Damien Cook's pretty high as well. I was hoping that would be a little bit lower, but he does carry a little bit of risk, so I'm not too mad that a few others are joining that boat. And these usually increase during the round as well, by the way. So yeah, you can probably expect most of those to double. And that represents 12.9% because this is the top 1,000. So yeah, a few are getting like the most obvious guys, which makes sense. I'm getting all 3 of those. And then Nathan Lawson, who's 6th on the list. So not straying too far away from the pack. I'm not doing it because they're popular. I just think they're the best options. And most people in the top 1,000 have similar sorts of thinking. Ewan Aiken's still really low. Only 2.2% are picking him up. So don't really know what's going on there. I think he's a better option than they're representing. He was only 20% picked up or so last week, which is pretty low for a trade-in caliber like him. Usually, like those sort of players are 40+% owned or picked up that week. So yeah, still a bit low. Hosking as the main trade out is crazy to me. I get it. Like he's probably only about 7 points undervalued now and doesn't play round 15. So if you don't want to trade out Haas, he's probably the next best apart from Munster, given his price point. But he's not that much more expensive than the mid-rangers. He's like 570, is he? Yeah, 583. Like all the middies who are clearly peaked are 50, 60K under that and don't play buys. And I know he doesn't play until round 18, but he has more chance of becoming a fringe keeper than any of those mid-rangers. So it is surprising. I get it if you need it for the money, if you don't want to trade out Haas. But yeah, I'm surprised to see him at the top of that list because he seems like a very niche trade out given team circumstances. But it looks like the majority, not the majority, but a lot of people are trading him out over the other guys. And yeah, all these are super low still. They'll heavily increase during the round. But I think most people won't be looking to make 3-4 trades this week. Just because obviously I have 17 trades, most people have around 12. The average has gone down to 11.4 now. So yeah, it's a good week to save them and then bulk up for round 15 next week if you are low. But yeah, I'm going for broke this week. We'll get into the game though. Yeah, pretty much every fantasy guy went well. It was a really good NRL game. Not from a quality standpoint so much, but I just love the big comebacks. It was 16-0 to the Eagles at halftime, and then Knights, the eighth game out of 13. They haven't scored a point in the first half, but yeah, came out firing in the second half. All their tries were really nice as well, and yeah, came home with the chockies in extra time after like 2 minutes. So really good to see. The Knights fans deserve a win, and I tipped them, so happy days. Fletcher Sharpe, 81, 2 tries. So he's backed up from his 22 last week with a huge effort. So good on him. Yeah, he wasn't too involved in the first half in real life, but he just carried himself to a really good fantasy score. He had like 20 tackles at the half. He was only about 4 or 5 less than the main forwards. So yeah, really dominant in defense. Didn't miss any until late in the game, which led to a try. But yeah, 2 tries. His backup play is phenomenal. He doesn't kick, but he just backs up every play that he's making himself impossible not to own, even with a few low scores. I did say he's a better 5'8" than fullback for fantasy, even after he's 98 or whatever. And yeah, I mean, this just shows it. Even with doing nothing in the first half, he was still on 40 plus just because of that base boost with like tackles and stuff like that. KPP, if you went him over Lucas, you're thrilled at the moment. Obviously, Lucas was pretty decent tonight with the 56, but KPP has got one over him in the last couple of weeks, and 79 in base, essentially, apart from that try assist and line break is huge. 56 in base, and then a few stats on top, 3 offloads to hand. So, yeah, really good from him. He's still nicely priced where he could have been an option, but he's probably going to be too high now. He'll make about 25K. There is better options out there like Ewan Aitken and stuff like that who play both buy rounds, but if you got him before round 12 as a pod, well done to you. He is like 30% owned in the top like 1,000 and 5,000, which is pretty crazy. I thought it would be a lot lower given how many people have Lucas, but yeah, clearly a few people had jumped on him. Dan Gagai continues to deliver decent fantasy scores. This one was huge with a 69, and he kept the goal kicking. Obviously, Ponga was back today, so I guess I figured Ponga was going to kick. But no, Dan Gagai kept him. He hasn't missed one yet. Has he? Did he miss one late? Maybe he missed one late, but he was like 6 from 6 or 7 from 7, which is good. So that's probably why he kept them, because they weren't all easy ones either. So yeah, that gives him an extra boost as long as he keeps them. If Ponga does miss Origin, I'd probably expect him to get it back over the next couple of weeks. They probably just didn't want to chop and change every week, similar to what I talked about with Burden and Crichton earlier a couple of weeks ago. It doesn't make sense to chop and change each week if someone's going to be out for Origin. So during the bye periods, we often see them just stick with one kicker, even if it's not the preferred one. So yeah, really good game, 10 tackle breaks, super involved. Like every run, he looked menacing. I talked about him ages ago as an option when he was priced at under 40. He's slightly more in price now, and obviously he's going to go up 30, 35K. So he's not an option anymore so much. Not an option, but he's going to be priced at 42, 43, only plays round 15. So probably wouldn't be looking to get on him now, but if you did pick him up, then yeah, well done to you. He was a bit risky, but he had heaps of merit in his historical data to show that he probably would get back to that at some stage. Brodie Jones, 58 and 54 minutes. Tyson Frizzell did go out with a concussion after 5 minutes, category 1, so didn't come back. When I first saw team list and I saw Brodie Jones was starting, I thought he was like 300K. If you saw the Tuesday video, I had a section where I was going to talk about him. Then I saw his price and I was like, nah, that's disgusting. Fuck that. But yeah, if he was cheaper, he would have been a great cheapie and would have pumped out a 58. So yeah, really good score. he's not an option. His price is gross at 400k. The Knights are just so depleted, and if they're going to lose a forward after 5 minutes, then minutes are going to be sporadic everywhere else. Like everyone's going to increase. But yeah, they are missing a lot of guys. Jacob Saifiti's due back next week or the week after, I believe. So that also meant Brodie Jones wasn't a great option. But yeah, if the minutes are like that, he has the caliber to do it. It's just I don't expect anywhere close to that most weeks. Dylan Lucas with the 56. Yeah, he was decent. Not many negatives at all, just the one missed tackle. He didn't look hampered by that shoulder, which is good. He did get like a cut on his face that kept reopening, but yeah, I don't think there's any concern there. If Jazz Tavanga can play through broken ribs, I think he can play through a little blood on his face. So 56 is solid, doing absolutely nothing else apart from like 2 tackle breaks and an offload to ground. So yeah, really happy with that. 52 in base is huge from him. Matt Croker came off the bench late, but came on early on after... That can't have been after Frizzell got injured. Oh, maybe it must have been for Frizzell and then came off with like 5 to go. But yeah, played out 69 minutes straight for a 53. It's really good. If he was a little bit cheaper, he would have been an option when he was starting lock a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, again, a little bit too expensive for us to consider, but did quite a good job. Jack Cogger, 52. Yeah, no interest there. 600 kick meters though. That's crazy. James Schiller had probably one of the worst halves in the first half I've ever seen. He was on -4 for fantasy, which isn't the worst ever. Like there's been worse, but he had 5 missed tackles, 3 errors, and he had like 3 straight plays, and 2 penalties. He had 3 straight plays of knock-ons, and one of them led to a penalty and got on report. So yeah, it was shocking. They ended up moving him to the wing in the second half because he was playing centre, and yeah, he pumped out a 52 in the second half, led to that game-tying try at the end. He did blow one to Fletcher Sharpe, pretty much exactly like their try to get it to 22 all. He just passed it a little bit behind him. It wasn't a shocking pass, but I mean, it was a pretty easy pass to make, so that wasn't a great moment. Got a try though, like 4 line breaks in the second half. So yeah, decent effort in the end. They wouldn't have won without his try at the end. So yeah, credit to him, but to shake off that first half, it was hilarious to watch. I did think he was a fantasy option a couple of months ago, mate, or like a month ago or so. So yeah, if he was on -4 at halftime, I would have been spewing. Greg Marsview was back this game, 48. Yeah, that's pretty good for his first game back. He's obviously going to shake off a bit of rust. 270 metres is crazy. And that was pretty much all organic. Only the 1 line break, and that was for 20 metres or so. Only 4 tackle breaks and an offload as well. So, yeah, nothing crazy. He's probably not an option just because coming back from injury, only plays round 15. He's not a keeper. Like, there's Tedesco's, Drinkwaters who are a tier above him who have better buy schedules. So, yeah, wouldn't be looking to buy him. It would have been nice if he didn't get injured and played through this period. But, yeah, what can you do? Kalen Ponga with a 42. Yeah, wasn't involved too much again until the last the game-winning try, of course, but that was mainly Fletcher Hunt. It was a nice pickup from him there. But, yeah, I don't know if he plays Origin. If the Knights had a terrible second half, I think he was pretty much gone from Origin in my eyes. Like, this is the game he's meant to show what he can do. And, yeah, just wasn't super involved in his first game back. Did have a few more touches late in the second half. Nothing menacing, but he looked healthy out there, which is better than nothing. He's been carrying an ankle injury, I think it was. So yeah, if he doesn't play Origin, he is potentially an option. Without goal kicking, it's a little bit more concerning. I'd like to see him get that back, but we want him for round 15 if we get him. So yeah, it's a tough one. We'll just see if he plays Origin. We'll see how Reece Walsh goes over the weekend as well. Thomas can't. Started at lock, but only played 40 minutes, even with Tyson Frizzell going out early. So, yeah, don't know what's going on there. He's more of an edge anyway. I was kind of intrigued when he did start at lock, but, yeah, not with those minutes. Fletcher Hunt, my boy. They keep calling him Fletcher Sharpe. It's so annoying. They don't even look similar. They just have the same mullet. Grow up. Yeah, pretty decent. Probably his best fantasy score this year, I think. And yeah, the game-winning try was good. Game-winning try assist, just a little back down. I'm talking like he ran 80 metres, but he literally just batted the ball back to Ponga. But it was nice. I just got a soft spot for him because he keeps getting 10s in fantasy, and he's actually good in real life. The other ones, not to mention really. Over to the Eagles. Olakwatu with a 92. That's crazy. He got, like a 28 in round 12 when everyone who had him needed him to do well in the bye round, and then back-to-back like 70 and 92s, which is crazy. He's only 2% owned. After he got his try to get up to like 60, I did check because I was like, oh no, hopefully this guy isn't like 10, 20% owned, but no, 2%, so not stressed. Jazz Tavanga with a 52 and 57. That's really decent. His point per minutes is great, and it's better when he plays lower minutes, as most people's are. 42 tackles. This bloke is a machine. Fantasy aside, he's playing with broken ribs. Like, how is a forward playing 70 and 80 minutes with broken ribs? And then his elbow like went back in this game, which is like looked terrible. Yeah, like stayed down, and 2 minutes later he got back up and was chill and just played the rest of the game. And he kept holding it. I was like, hopefully it's not too bad. Like, even though I don't have him, I don't like seeing guys get injured. It's just not how you should be playing fantasy. If that's what you're rooting for, then there's something wrong with you. Like, it's just a game. Glad to see he was all good. Wouldn't be mad if he missed next week. Just having a rest or something, but as long as it's not injury related, that's chill. Bloke's just a machine. I'm sure they give him a rest at some point or like reduce minutes, but he didn't play extra time in this one. So yeah, he got 2 minutes less. Good on him. He's really carried that team, that forward pack with Jakey Turbo being out. So yeah, if you picked him up ages ago, well done. I didn't think he was an option this week, especially off the bench. Like, if I knew he was starting lock, actually no, I wouldn't have said he was an option still. Starting prop, sorry. But yeah, like, you can never do it off the bench. He ended up starting in the end, and played decent minutes, which is good for you guys who own him. Kohler with a 50. He moved to fullback after Lehigh Hopawate got injured trying to score a try. So -1 if you did pick him up, which is unlucky. I talked about him in today's video. I said he wasn't an option, but didn't think he'd get a -1 in 6 minutes. I just thought he was pretty much priced where he should be in only one game at fullback. So super unlucky if you did pick him up. I think he was about 1% picked up. So yeah, really unlucky there. Kohler looked good at fullback, 300 metres gained. He always looks good when he goes there, but we know Tommy's probably back next week. So yeah, don't really have any interest in that. Nathan Brown, I was actually kind of considering this during the week. I didn't talk about him in my video because I didn't like him as an option in the end because I looked at his data and it wasn't great. But like, this Manly pack, it just looks like he was getting minutes off the bench and stuff. It was going to be if Jakey Turbo was still out. He's been, like, his minutes have been bigger lately, and he just doesn't do that well over the last 2 seasons with bigger minutes. So yeah, I didn't expect him to get 55. That's crazy, and 46 is really good. He's not an option despite his low break even, obviously. Ruben Garrick with a 44. Yeah, doesn't light the world on fire again. He did move to wing. He moved to the left wing for like 15 minutes. I can't remember who went off. Tommy Talau, I think, with a concussion, but he came back on, and then Garrick moved back to right centre. But yeah, I said he was like not much of an interesting player to watch in fantasy. He doesn't do a whole lot. Like, he doesn't get many offloads or tackle breaks, which is fun for watching for outside backs. He did have a run where I thought he'd score. Like, he hammered onto the ball late in the game, and Jack Cogger made a huge tackle on him, which is crazy. Then he came up limping, but I think his knees just banged together. He took the goal kick 2 minutes later. So yeah, nothing concerning there with injury, I don't think. He did have a nice try assist and line break early. I think he might get a turnover tackle potentially. I don't know how they rule it. They're a bit funny with these, but there was a pass backwards that hit the ground, and then he ended up picking it up after a couple of bounces. Sorry, my cat's just in here, one sec. Yeah, the ball bounced 2 or 3 times before he picked it up, and he just dove on the ball. So, I mean, technically that's a turnover, but he didn't get it, and I've seen it go either way. So we'll see. The fact he didn't get it probably means he won't get it. Also, Fletcher Sharpe actually is a chance of getting a try save as well. It was about 20 out, but I've seen him give those as well. It was on Cherry Evans, who broke away, but he just didn't have the gas. So potential updates there, but yeah, I doubt it if we haven't got him already. He was on 30 after like 30 minutes and then stumbled to a 44. So it's not great from Garrick. He is probably a sell after round 18 if you can hold him that long. So I was surprised even more people picked him up this week as well. But yeah, like he's an appealing price point. He's just not a end of season keeper the way he's going. Jakey Turbo played 70 minutes, which is good. I talked about him a month ago about being an option with his price, and obviously had a concussion the last couple of weeks. He is like an appealing price if he does miss Origin, but yeah, like I don't know, his output in 70, 80 minutes hasn't been great over the last 2 seasons. So better than where he's priced at, but probably not enough to generate 10 plus points of value. Who else do we have here? Cherry Evans, yeah. Does he miss Origin now after that game? He wasn't great, 600 kick meters, but 4 meters run. That cannot be right because he went for a run for about 20 or 30 meters that I just talked about with Fletcher Sharpe chasing him down. So that's weird. So he probably updates. But yeah, he wasn't great. Didn't offer a whole lot, and Manly lost, obviously. So if Dearden plays well, I reckon that spot's his. And yeah, Cherry Evans becomes an option. I think he's priced at 49 or something. And will be a little bit cheaper after that one, assuming he doesn't update too much. So yeah, I think he is like a premier half. He's about the same level as like a Fogarty, maybe a little bit lower. I think he's averaging 50 for the year, but he's had like pedigree where he averages above that, which is good. 53, 63 even, 59, 60, 68, that's crazy. And obviously he's getting a bit older, but yeah, we know what he can do. So if I need him, I'll pick him up next week if he misses Origin. But yeah, it's really a team-based thing. Maybe it means Campbell's less valuable this week if you do expect Cherry Evans to miss Origin. But I think you can get away with picking up both, with Campbell playing fullback as well, winger fullback in fantasy. So yeah, that's about it from that game. Super fun game from a results standpoint. I love seeing those comebacks. And yeah, if you owned many fantasy assets, you're over the moon right now, especially Ola Kawatu owners. So yeah, well done to you. Good luck this round, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow night after the games. Bye.